Happy Tuesday, algoriters. It's Tuesday, August the 19th. Let's see who's in here with us. Typhia, welcome back. Typhia, I think I'm saying your name right. Welcome back to Celebrity Court. Protecting My Peace, 44 from the DMV. Welcome back, Protecting My Peace. SL, thank you. Thank you for always being so present. SL, thank you. Welcome back. Idota, is that how you say that? Edota, Edota. I don't know. Welcome back. Good evening. Deliria Washington, welcome back. Charlene Lambert, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. The Entertainment Esquire is dropping down in the chat. All right, everybody. Tonight, we step into the courtroom where celebrity scandal meets the law. From elderly abuse allegations against a music legend's husband to the heartbreaking guardianship battle of a daytime diva, to a $70,000 price tag for speaking out in divorce court, and finally, a rising track star brought down by domestic violence arrests. Now, these aren't just headlines. They are case studies in how fame collides with the justice system. And as always, you, our jury of public opinion, will get the final word with your verdict. But guess what? We have something new here on Celebrity Court. We want you to stay tuned because tonight, we're going to close with a special interest case. A former NFL player standing his ground against a traffic stop by invoking the so-called constitutional right to travel. I've never heard of it. So, guys, let's see what the legal beagles have to say. Was he right or was he wrong? We're definitely going to deliberate about that here on Celebrity Court. And joining us tonight, we have our four legal beagles. First up, we have our entertainment attorney, Ashley Carter. Ashley Carter, welcome back to Celebrity Court. You're on mute.
Hi, everybody. Happy to be back. I have on my real ass lawyer hat, so I'll be bringing in some real commentary today.
All right, come on, Red Lip. We're not mad at a Red Lip. Joining her is that fiery civil attorney, Shatan Turner. Get in here. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey, Your Honor. Hey, Ashley. I'm glad for the backup. Ladies first.
So as you guys know, tonight's story is basically all women trying to figure out why all these crazy women are bumping in to law issues. Joining us also, we're going to have our civil attorney, Jason Weiss, author of All the Shit They Didn't Teach You in Law School. Jason, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Your Honor. I'm logging in remotely today from the other side of my house because my normal spot is being fixed.
Well, it's under cyber attack.
Yes, it is.
All right, welcome back. I'm glad you could make it. And last but not least, pulling up the rear, humorous at law, Sean Carter. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey, I'm good. I'm in my regular place. I didn't give my password out to somebody, so I'm good.
All right. Thank you for joining. All right, Mark Wright, welcome back. Who else is in here with us that I missed? Colette Davis, welcome back. Charlene Lambert, Venetia Phillips, Sandra McGee, good to see you back. Sandra, good to see you back. Nick Knack, 86, welcome back. E.O. E.O. Got it. E.O is how you said. OG Patrice, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Sometimes Vegan. Hey, Al. What's going on? Sometimes Vegan. Lathea Robinson Smith, welcome back. Oh, gosh. I'm starting to get used to the names. And Tanika Washington, welcome back. All right, everybody. This next story just breaks my heart. The Empress of Soul, Gladys Knight. She finds herself at the center of a disturbing family feud once again. Her son accuses her husband of elderly abuse and amidst health concerns, which we all know that she's going through. The legal battlefield is elderly law versus guardianship and conservatorship. This is a messy one. For context, for those who don't know, over 10% of Americans over 60 experience elder abuse. But experts say only 1 in 14 cases are ever reported, and that's why this case is getting a lot of attention. Courts have seen similar wars over icons like Casey Kasem, y'all remember him, and Mickey Rooney, where family members clash over care, money, and their state and power. So I want to go to you first, Shatan, since you kind of work in the healthcare field. What exactly qualifies as elder abuse in the eyes of the law? That's question number one. And how do courts determine whether a claim is legitimate versus a family feud?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there, Your Honor, but I'm here for it. So, elder abuse is defined by state law. This is not federal law that we're talking about. So, it depends on each state where you reside, what the definition is. North Carolina has a rule that protects people who are over 60 and also people who are disabled. And so, it's allegations that somebody is intentionally harming them or there's willful neglect and they're being harmed by it. In this case, Gladys Knight's son is saying that her 48-year-old husband has her out there pimping her wares on stage and making her tour to get money, and he thinks it's unfair. I want to say, I mean, we got to get into the legalities, but one, black don't crack, right? If you looked at Gladys Knight and her husband, she's 81, he's 48. The age difference does not look that great, even though it is. But secondly, the issue is, you know, what are his intentions? And so the son is salty because the husband is probably in line to get everything from these touring dates. Anyway, there's some allegations that Gladys doesn't have the capacity or her regular faculties. And so he's saying she needs to be home, you know, I guess she doesn't make macaroni and cheese. That's Patti LaBelle, but like baking cookies, kissing babies, enjoying herself and not out there working. But Gladys issued a statement. And I don't remember if we have that collateral or not, but Gladys said, you know, she's been touring for, you know, 60 some odd years or whatever. And she likes to do it and she wants to continue to do it. And nobody's forcing her to do anything. And the other thing is, you know, her song Midnight Train to Georgia, I think she's trying to ride that 48-year-old all the way to paradise, and she wants her son to get out of her business.
You know what? No more divorcees. No more divorcee commentary. Who needs some? Because you are a mess. All right, Jay Knight said that he's not 48, he's 67. I don't know. No, I know he's definitely not 67. But anyway, Bailiff, I think we got some collateral here. Let's see what the son is actually saying and what he's contending.
Icon and R&B legend.
I'm extremely concerned.
Gladys Knight, a musical force for over 70 years. But behind the legacy,
I don't want my mom out on tour, on a tour bus, wondering where she's at.
Her family says something bad is happening to her and she doesn't even know it.
And we went directly to the Department of Human Services.
Only on the Shade Room.
I'm stopping this.
Her son filing a DHS complaint accusing Gladys's husband of elder abuse, forcing her to go on tour, work long hours, knowing that her cognitive health is declining.
He's dealing with my mother. This is my mama.
And what Gladys Knight was allegedly seen doing in the middle of the night that has her family sounding the alarm for her safety.
As her family, we are just concerned about her well-being.
I'm Justin Carter, and this is TSR Investigates. But before we...
Okay, so Sean Carter, I want to throw to you real quick because I find it interesting. You know, she has a problem with that son. Remember, that son is the one that had the mishandling of funds, allegedly, of the restaurant that they had together. And she basically, you know, cut ties with him. And Algorithm, jump down into the chat and let me know if I'm right on that. So she has issues with that son already. But tell us, what are your thoughts on this? Like, who do you believe, and how does the guardianship proceeding weigh in? Like, with like, do you believe the son and the daughter, or do you believe the husband and Gladys?
I got to tell you, and I have a personal connection here. I believe Gladys only because there was a time when we were both Mormon. Don't ask; it's a long story. But the point is simply this: yes. And when she was Mormon, and I was Mormon. Gladys was on tour then. She played my living room for free. All right. Gladys liked to sing. All right. Gladys will sing at your birthday. Just ask her. All right. That woman's been performing for 70 years. All right. She only 81. All right. She came out the womb singing. And so if she says she wants to keep singing, I can't, after 70 years, I would assume that she does. That's her thing. I'm going to be, by the way, I'm going to be on this podcast in 81 too. All right. Elder abuse would happen if either she came up and said, hey, he out here pimping me for this midnight train in Georgia, or she couldn't talk for herself. And I guess there was some allegation that she's, not having the mental state. But, if looks tell, she looking good.
Yeah. Well, that was after that incredible facelift. That facelift really did change her. Let me go to the entertainment attorney in the room tonight. Okay, so Ashley, you have a celebrity client here who basically is saying, hey, I don't want the guardianship. But her kids are saying, hey, my mother needs the guardianship. So what protection exists for elders who may not want it, but family members insist on it?
Well, this is similar to the previous case of the guy from Good Times, where there was some issues with siblings thinking he wasn't competent at one point, and how he liked the son over the daughter at one point. And then even with Wendy Williams, which I know we're going to get to in a second, who decides and who is competent enough to decide at this point who should be saying she should have a guardianship? The short answer is any family member can technically file with the court saying, hey, something is wrong here, and have the courts look into it. But that doesn't mean it's going to be successful. As we'll talk about Wendy Williams' case, her son was spending all Wendy Williams' money. So there was enough there to say, hey, something was going on. And so that's why it moved forward in the first place. But if her children right now really feel like something is happening, they have the legal right to file it. But it does not mean it's going to be successful and it's going to go through. But they have the legal right to file it. They absolutely do.
Jason, does that mean that the husband has no say? That's her husband.
The husband absolutely has a say, right? So what happened is the kids are saying, mom's on tour, she's not fit to tour. They're filing a petition with the court. That's all it is. It's kind of like a lawsuit. Someone starts the lawsuit. Now the husband, Gladys, an independent person, a doctor, a therapist, a Ouija board reader, everybody's going to come in and give their opinion of whether or not she is fit. If she is mentally fit and they say to her, do you want to go on tour? Yes. Is anybody forcing you? No. Why do you want to go on tour? I love it. Court's going to allow it. That's it. Over and done. Now, Wendy Williams, which we'll get to later, she wasn't able to say things, and there were things going on. So the son and the daughter have the burden of putting out there why she needs a guardianship, why she needs to be. And from what I'm seeing and reading, they're not going to be successful. And this is all to just try to, save face with mom and probably get written back into the will, but it ain't happening.
Got it. All right. So let's go to the algorithms, because algorithms, does anybody know, if drop down in the chat, please, does anybody know what the incident was? Because they said there was an incident at night where they saw her doing something publicly, which raised this huge concern. Does anybody know what that incident was? And then also to Afra Singh's, Gladys Knight had a facelift. You said who had a facelift? Gladys Knight had a facelift allegedly. And she looks really good. The before and after looks really good. She's getting lost. OG Patrice says, is getting lost and confused by going to the wrong hotel not problematic? Yeah, I think that is problematic. My mother had that issue when her dementia first started. She would get lost in like the Walmart parking lot, or she would get lost in the church parking lot. And that was actually the first real red flags of community members coming up and telling us that our mother was wandering around and was pretty confused. That it forced us to take her to go have her test of dementia. All right, so let's go to you, algoriters, really quickly. Do you believe elder abuse allegations should automatically trigger guardianship? I don't know if I think it should automatic, or should celebrities like Gladys Knight be given more autonomy in deciding who manage their affairs? That's interesting. So let's repeat the question. Bailiff, can you put the question up, please? Do you believe elder abuse allegations should automatically trigger guardianship, or should celebrities like Gladys Knight be given more autonomy in deciding who manages their affairs? Drop down in the chat. I want to hear what you guys think.
So, Your Honor, it seems to be that she wasn't able to read some of the teleprompters. She wasn't 100% aware where she was at. That's what the son and daughter are claiming. Those are the two big confusion, not reading teleprompters, not really knowing where she's at. And yes, she's 81 years old. So if on tour, she is probably overdoing it a little bit.
Right. You know, I went to go see, I don't know, Shaitan, if you're a big Melba Moore fan, but I'm a huge Melba Moore fan. I went to go see her on tour in New York City. And halfway through her set, like going through her set, and I know Melba Moore might be close to 80, but she started not to remember the words to the song. And it was interesting. And she also, like, she got really like confused or whatever. She was like clearly in a state of confusion. And people came up and they sat her down and to get her through her song, I think her manager helped mouth the words. But in her case, she was dehydrated, and after she had gone to the hospital, she went to the hospital, got taken care of. It all went back, went back to normal. And I went to see her again in DC, and she was absolutely perfect. So I don't know. Does that mean anything?
It happens. So, I mean, capacity wax and wanes depending on circumstances, and especially in people who are elderly. Although most people who are 81 that I know don't like to be called elderly, but it's true, right? There are certain biological flows that influence performance. And so if we recall that unfortunate debate with President Biden last year, where he performed so poorly, a lot of people believe that was influenced by something called sundowning, which happens at night for older people. Right. And so it's a time when they just become less sharp. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't be responsible for their own affairs or they need guardianship, but it probably means they should like end their day earlier than you or I might end our day. And so Melba Moore needing a Gatorade, that makes perfect sense to me, because severe dehydration does cause signs of delirium and confusion. So I'm not sure what happened with Gladys that one time, but the investigation by the department in North Carolina will look to see whether her husband is acting in her best interest. And as I put in the chat, anybody can initiate an allegation, an investigation of elder abuse. So in this case, it is the children, but it doesn't have to be the children. It could be a caregiver. It could be a nurse when they go to the office if they saw that he was being rough with her.
Okay, got it. All right, let's wish Afra sings happy birthday. Sorry, did not mean to skip over that. Are you singing anywhere tonight, Afra sings? She sings here in DC. I've been trying to make my way to support her because she's always supporting us. I'll hold it down for you other lawyers. But she sings here in DC. I would love to go see her one night. But let's see. I thought there was something interesting here. Somebody put in the chat that OG Patrice obviously has some insight on this. She says that the worker at the wrong hotel had to retrieve her cell phone and call her daughter to contact someone to come get Gladys. Something in there, something in the milk ain't clean right there. But all right, so sad. But we're going to keep our eyes and ears open on that story. And speaking of sad, the next case on the docket tonight is Wendy Williams. Once the queen of daytime talk, she has now reportedly been re-diagnosed with dementia. A judge says her guardianship at this point stays in place. This echoes the Britney Spears conservatorship saga, but here's the difference. Britney fought to end hers. Wendy's medical diagnosis makes it her case much harder to fight. Now, courts cite protection from exploitation, but critics argue guardianship strips autonomy and could lead to abuse. Now, remember, 1.3 million adults in the U.S. are under guardianship. I don't think people understand how, important it is, controlling nearly $50 billion in assets. So that's a system ripe for misuse, if you ask me. So I'm gonna throw to you, Attorney Carter. Attorney Sean Carter, how does the law distinguish between legitimate guardianship for medical incapacity versus an abuse of the system? And what do you think, in your professional opinion, is happening here with Wendy Williams? And why can't she get out of that center? But before you answer that, Bailiff, take it away.
How are you tonight, and what brings you out?
Coming out to eat. It's dinner time.
And how? Any reactions to the your medical report that does hold up the dementia diagnosis?
No, and my attorneys are highly upset.
They are?
Yes, my attorneys are highly upset.
Okay, good.
Diamond, yeah.
And what about the? Do you have anything you want to say to your conservator?
I want to say hi to my attorneys, Alan Diamond, all right, and Joe.
Cool.
Joe Tacopina.
Cool.
Those are my attorneys, and I will get out of guardianship.
All right, before you answer me, Sean, I gotta be honest, guys. If I was sitting in a courtroom or an evaluation room and I watched her answer questions that I was asking her like that, I would be freaking concerned. I would be concerned. I don't care how much people love Wendy and loved her show. Am I wrong to think that, Attorney Carter, Sean Carter? I would be concerned.
I'm torn between that, because here's the thing about it is, all right, there is mentally incapacitated, and just so we're clear, the standard in New York is that you can't even understand or appreciate the consequence of your actions. All right, you're like a child. I'm not sure that Wendy is that bad. I think she just might be regular crazy. All right, there are days in which y'all see me on here, all right, answering these questions, and you think that fool crazy. All right, so we can't throw everybody in guardianship. Now, fortunately, I don't have Wendy's money, so nobody cares about my guardianship. All right, I would like somebody to take over my finances because I'm messing them up. All right, but nobody will do that. Let's go back though here, and I will give you a 30-second rundown very quickly. Okay. 2022, Wells Fargo calls and says, "Hey, all her money is disappearing, and we have fiduciary responsibility before she come back and sue us, and it's all gone, that somebody come and take over this." Originally, she got a guardianship, and it only covered financial matters. It only covered her money. And then in 2023, the dementia diagnosis came in, a fairly severe form of dementia. And as a result, they said, "Hey, we got to have someone make sure we take care of you where you live, etc." Now, earlier this year, and we covered a lot, but one thing we covered this, Wendy had a victory. She was in what she called a luxury prison, all right, in the memory unit, which sounds like a horrible place. And they let her out. They say, "Hey, we can give you a better place to go. You can have some freedom. You can go out to dinner. You can be with your friends, etc. But we still want to keep this guardianship in place." Her ex-husband, and her son said, no, our mama need to be free. They filed a petition to terminate the guardianship. However, Wendy signed papers to do so, but her lawyers have never filed that yet. And it's interesting that they haven't, because she said, "I'm going to be free." And I'm wondering, why would you wait?
Yeah, like, why is she out here campaigning that she's going to be free and that her lawyers are going to get her out, and she hasn't signed the papers? The lawyers hadn't submitted it.
My theory is that, remember, just last week there was a ruling, or recently, where the judge in some interim matter looked at it and said, "Ooh, the test that came back recently still showed dementia." And so I'm thinking they're hoping that over time, in a few months, they'll have a better diagnosis. She's get a little better. And when they come to terminate the guardianship, they're going to have like, "Hey, she's okay. She's just regular crazy." Because here's the thing about dementia. Dementia isn't like, say, cancer or something where you could be in remission. It gets back. Normally, dementia only gets worse. And so if you're not capable of handling your affairs today, there's very little chance you're going to be better in 2 years at handling your affairs.
Right. Jeanette Hunter, I agree with you. I think hers is alcohol-induced dementia, allegedly, and it's supposed to be frontal lobe. So, the thought was if she gets rehab, that she would get back those faculties. It's so good to watch you guys in the chat. Danielle Cameron, oh, she made it. Hey, what's going on? I find it very interesting. It's so good to see people agreeing that watching her in this present state, it's just not cool, because usually people will drag me, because she used to drag me forever, every day. If you don't remember, she used to drag me every day. Oh, every day. I was a topic on her show every week when she was on the radio. And that's not it. I mean, I've watched this woman evolve to one of the most talked about, talk show hosts in the business. But this Wendy right here,
It's not the same Wendy.
It's not the same Wendy. This is a sad situation. And I keep saying this, even though she drugged the hell out of me, talk shit about me on a regular basis. Yep, she used to say, Al, you doing? I don't want to see an icon in the Black community who led culture. And that's what she did, led culture, even though if it was messy or whatever, she entertained people. Well, I don't want to see her go out like that. I don't care what
I have a little inside scoop for the algoriters. So when she was just probably in the last year trying to get out of her guardianship, where it kind of resurfaced back in the news, her family actually reached out to the Black Lawyers podcast that I am also the host of. And sometimes from time to time, people will reach out to our podcast because they know we have, a network of attorneys. Right. Well, long story short, we connected her with an excellent Black woman who is known for guardianships and conservatorships in New York. And they consulted with her a little bit and then kind of moved on to this Joe Tapacchio person who's doing absolutely nothing, by the way. I have nothing against Joe, but Joe is doing absolutely nothing. He is, as far as I'm concerned, riding her coattails as the celebrity client. If he wants to do something, as Sean Carter says, he needs to be encouraging the court-appointed personal attorney. Again, there are two court appointeds. There's the court-appointed guardian, who is Sabrina, Morrissey, who she's trying to get rid of. But then there's a court attorney, personal attorney, who can file a petition and get the ball rolling and removing this guardianship. That has not been filed yet. And they may have their reasons why, but they haven't filed it yet. So Joe getting on TMZ and flexing, I'm going to do this and that. Joe's not going to do anything because he doesn't have any authority. He's not the court-appointed personal attorney that can get the ball rolling. Now, the only other people that can get the ball rolling is her son and her husband. Her husband just wants to sue the conservator because he's not getting his money anymore as her ex, He has his own personal reasons why he wants to do that. So let's just set Kevin aside for a second. Kevin Sr. Kevin Jr. has the right to file a petition saying, hey, maybe at one point there needed to be a guardianship, but now I don't think there should be. And in fact, her niece did a GoFundMe a couple of months ago. And guess what? Raised all this money. And a lot of people are upset. Like, well, where did all the money go? The money went to a lawyer for the niece to file her own petition. Because again, any family member can file a petition. It did not go to a lawyer for Wendy. It went to the niece's attorney to file the petition. What happened to the results of that petition? I never heard any results back. I know there was a hearing scheduled, but my assumption is they didn't go for it, because if they had, it would have been reported.
It would have been all over. I don't know if it's just me, but algorithms help me understand this as well. It's something about Kevin being involved. It's something about her son being involved, who kind of started all of this. And it's something about that niece. All of it in my head, it's the milk ain't clean. The milk ain't clean across the board. The milk just ain't clean. I'm telling y'all, the milk is not clean.
It may not be clean, but I think this is my position on Wendy. Okay, this is my brief synopsis on what should happen with Wendy. Wendy clearly has a medical diagnosis, of some sort of dimension. I think she's never going to get away from that. That is not what they should run from. They should say, okay, there is some sort of diagnosis, but she doesn't deserve to be in this type of guardianship where she is being emotionally abused. She can't use her phone. She can't leave when she doesn't want to leave. She can still be in a guardianship and conservatorship. It just doesn't have to be this one. And I think that is what her family should lean into. I don't think her family should lean into just getting rid of it completely, because I think it's going to be harder to do because of
I don't agree. I don't agree that she order in my court. I don't believe that she's being abused. The only thing that's abusive about her is that she does not get to leave and do whatever the hell she wants to do and not be in there. She's allowed to leave to go to dinner. You see her on that scooter in New York City all the time. She hanging out with friends. She goes to church. She goes to Christian Culture Center. She's in the streets. She's not being handcuffed in with a jacket in, some underserved unit. So I don't believe, you're never going to convince me that she's being abused in there. The only abuse occurring in there is that she can't go and stay in a penthouse somewhere. That's the only abuse that I see. And given the circumstances of all three of them, the son is what started. The husband is actually what started. That's why she started to lose it altogether, because of that. I don't know that I would trust any of them in any petition that they put forward.
No. I don't think they should now be the conservator, the guardian. I think another maybe sound family member could be.
But nobody's stepping up. Remember the sister, not the sister. What was it? The aunt or the other lady, the professor that lives in Princeton or something. They tried to get her involved. They tried to get her brother involved. Tried to get her daddy involved. Drop down in the chat. Algorators. Okay, Shaitan, I know you're very eager to share. Come on and tell us what's on your mind.
Well, let's start.
That's right. Her sister is an attorney and an advocate for it. That's right. I knew it was something. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's start with the process of guardianship, because I think we're blurring a few things for the algorators. The first thing is somebody petitioned and said that she wasn't capable of making her own decisions. Right. That did not de facto get this stranger in the mix. As you indicated, there is an inclination by the court to appoint a family member as the guardian as a matter of first impression. That did not happen here. Likely, nobody stepped up. And so they got this stranger involved instead, right? And now people are complaining about how the stranger's doing their job. And, I don't have strong opinions about whether it should be lifted or not, but I think the important thing is that this person, Sabrina, who's her guardian, is the one saying that the Lifetime movie never should have been made because she lacked capacity. Anybody who's seen the Lifetime movie can tell that Wendy didn't see
capacity.
Anybody who sees those eyebrows and that wig in public has questions. So what we're fighting, what the family's fighting about is their control.
The shade is real. The shade is real today.
One other quick thing to highlight is that guardianship is not the equivalent of involuntary commitment, right? So guardianship means that either there was a determination, and in this case, it covers everything, as Attorney Carter indicated. There can be limited guardianships to make. You can't make certain decisions, limited only you can't make decisions in healthcare. In this case, there's a plenary guardianship covering everything. But the fact that she's in this place, that was a separate determination based on other factors, because you can be involuntarily committed temporarily and then you get out and you go and live your life. So we're not getting the whole story. As you indicate,
that's what I said. That's why I feel like there's something in the milk ain't clean. All right, Jason, our resident white guy, as an outsider looking into this, what is your legal assessment? Taking race out of it, I'm just talking race. What is your legal assessment? Just listening to the stories, watching the videos, where do you stand on this? You probably don't know her that well as we do. We grew up on her. What would be your legal assessment if you were the lawyer on this case?
Her lawyer or the lawyer on the other side?
The lawyer not her lawyer, obviously.
Not her lawyer? Look at that video. I don't care what you think about her as a human, as an individual, as a celebrity. She did not look, sound, or even look. She didn't look or sound like she knew what was going on. She sounded like she was told, hey, you just have to thank your lawyers when you're in front of the cameras. That's what I felt like too. You thank your lawyers. You thank your lawyers. So what does she do? My lawyer Diamond, my lawyer this one. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. She did not look healthy. She did not look with it. She looked like she was on something. And what I think should be done is go ahead and get a completely impartial person to evaluate her. Put her into NYU in New York and allow them to do it. Put her into.
They actually did that. So you're right. Sean Carter, close us out on here. What are your thoughts on this case?
You know, I'm torn on this. On the one hand, and Attorney Turner had a great point. That wig is exhibit A, B, and C, right? To insanity. But here's the thing about it: we have to go further than just saying, okay, she's not right, because a lot of people run around ain't quite right. Right. And most of my family members. All right. And so, you know, it's usually can you be responsible? Could you take care of yourself?
No,
also,
I don't think she can.
And we should be clear. Right. And we should be clear. She's not where she used to be. She's not locked up like she used to be. Like you said, she's out in the street, in the streets. Right. And so this might be the right place for her. My theory is that they're really trying to wait. Maybe, like you said, if it's alcohol induced, maybe over time her brain will heal some, and then she'll have a better judgment. And so, you know, right now, I think she's probably where she should be.
All right, that sounds good. All right, let's go to you, Algorators. What are your thoughts? Do you think Wendy Williams should still have a say in her finances and career despite her dementia diagnosis, or should the court guardianship remain for her protection right now? I think this is a solid question. Algorithm, jump down in the chat. Do you think Wendy Williams should have a say in her finances and career despite her dementia diagnosis, or should the court's guardianship remain for her protection? All right, next up, speaking of court, baby, Tiana Taylor don't like the courts today. Singer Tiana Taylor has been ordered to pay her ex-husband, Iman Shumpert, $70,000 after violating a court gag order by posting about their divorce on Instagram. Judge issued gag orders to protect the children and the process, but here's the controversy. Is it fair to silence someone for telling their own story? Ooh, I can't wait to break this down. Jason, you know all about my business. Can't wait for you to share in that space. Is it fair to silence someone from telling their own story? With divorce rates hovering at nearly 50% in the United States, more and more families are finding their dirty laundry scrubbed, or not, but in court. The case puts the highlight on how the First Amendment meets family law. And I can't wait to throw to you, Shaitan, because I want to know about that. So, Jason, let's go to you. What's the legal justification for gag orders in divorce cases? And do they conflict with free speech rights? I think you and I have had this conversation.
Yes, we had. And here's the thing, right?
Conversation.
If there is an agreement in place that says that ex-husband and ex-wife, or future ex-husband and future ex-wife, can't talk about it, so be it. And if you talk about it, and if there's a monetary penalty built into it, you can make a demand for that monetary penalty and payment. The other thing is this: the courts. When I tell people all the time, when it's my wife or when it's someone in a black robe calling, I have to stop and listen. Meaning, someone in a black robe, a judge, can go ahead and say, you may not talk about this. You are ordered not to. You cannot do this. So yes, a court can do it if it is in the best interest of, if there's children involved, if it's in their interest, or for the parties involved. People want to be able to come to court and say what they need to say, and you need to keep it in that courtroom. So yes, a judge can go ahead and say, look, across the board, I don't want anybody talking about this, and if you talk about it, you will be punished. Bottom line, that's it. Done.
Right, but hold on. This is my argument, because what happens in a lot of cases is, you know, going through your divorce, people say, well, I don't want you talking about X, Y, and Z, and this is a part of the settlement. In order for us to go through the divorce, you're basically, it's a gag order, which is what I'm assuming happened here, right? So she's not allowed to talk about it. He's not allowed to talk about it. If he talks about it, he pays her. If she talks about it, she pays him. So what made her think that she was bigger than the gag order, going on Instagram and talking about it and thinking she don't have to pay up? Because be very clear, in your gag order, or at least in most gag orders, and I'm going to throw to you, Shaitan, they tell you, if you talk about it, this is the amount of money that you're going to have to pay. That's it. So it's almost like she can't cry. She knew what the fine was going to be, just like in the football. if they do certain things like not, curse at a referee or you get a fine. You know the rules. So when you go on Instagram and talk about it, the rule is that you can't talk about it if you do it's $70,000 every time you talk about it. Why is she crying, Shatan?
Because she's just like Florida Evans in Good Times. She's like, damn, 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 damn. She is mad. Alcohol and emotion are powerful motivators. And so in this case, what I actually think is her lawyers should not have agreed to some of the standard clauses because she has a social media presence and it's important to her to get her message out there. And the problem is that when you build that social media presence on keeping it 100, then you try to be authentic and share information you're not supposed to share. So in this case, when she gave, and I think we have some collateral that we're going to show that shows her talking about her divorce, she was mad that she got him a car, she had all this stuff. And so the issue is that she did not want to be responsible for that man. And she wanted her to understand how worthless he was. Can you hear me?
Is that breaking up or is it her?
Al, you're the one that's breaking up. Rashad, can you play the collateral?
All my properties. Iman walked away with a car that I bought him. That's clear. But let's also, we're not going to sit here and make it seem like Teyana's using Iman for anything. Like, at the end of the day, yes, Iman made his money and so did I. I've been in this business since I was 15 years old. We're not going to act like my bank account is like, nah, we're not doing that. I've had several Jordans. I've had several movies, several deals, all still active. All still active. And the crazy part about it is I said nothing when him and his lawyer told the internet, oh, Tiana's making more money. Tiana's bringing more money a month in than Iman is. Just because Iman played ball don't mean that this is a thing where it's like I'm trying to take money off of him. Iman haven't played ball since 2020. So yes, actively during the divorce, I was bringing more money than him in. I am. So it's just like, how are we sitting here making it seem like I'm being a gold digger or taking from him? And we're not going to do that. I bought my tour bus with my hard-earned money. I bought my Sprinter with my hard-earned money. I bought my Maybach with my hard-earned money. I bought my Maybach after Iman crashed my Rolls Royce and never replaced it. That I also bought. Okay? What are we talking about? Every single car that I walked away with, I literally paid for out of my pocket. Out of my pocket. Now, at this point, I made myself clear. Y'all going to think what y'all want to think regardless. Y'all going to still run with y'all narratives because that's what people do. But one thing you will have clear is that Teyana ain't take nothing from Iman. Oh, and that $1 million y'all claiming that 7-figure, 8-figure, it was a one-time fee of $1 million in damages. When Iman crashed the $400,000 Rolls Royce and Iman did whatever other stuff he did, that was the things he had to pay me back. Iman left me with a whole lot of shit. That's another thing. Let's be clear with that too. When you're dividing marital assets, when you're dividing houses and stuff, if it's still bills a part of it, if it's snatched away from the both of us. So to think that even if that was the case, that I didn't get a car and boom, 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 like that shit means nothing. That means nothing. That means nothing. That means nothing at all. I never tried to send Iman to jail. I'm still not trying to send Iman to jail. However, I have to file a motion to get him to leave me alone so we can both go and live our life in peace. Like, I'm confused because y'all know peace is what I want. Like, I don't want no smoke, bruh. Like, I'm too happy right now. Bitch, I'm too happy right now, bitch. I'm too happy right now, bitch. You think I want to sit here, motherfucker? be talking about some divorce. That only makes me look like I'm coming with a whole bunch of baggage. Like nobody want to do that. But yeah, like I said, it is what it is. This divorce, these settlements, and all this fake false shit, all this.
See, she don't want to talk about it, but she's going to keep talking about it and talking about it.
Right.
She wants her $70,000. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, guys. I am having. I have to apologize, everybody. I'm having extreme technical difficulties over here. So
we're back now.
I'm going to. All right, we're back. Cool. All right, so let's go to the algorithms real quick. Algorithms, this is a question: should Teyana have the right to publicly share her of the divorce story, or was the court right to fine her for breaking the gag order? I want to go to you, Sean Carter, really quickly because I want to be very clear about this. Okay, she signed the paperwork. Talk about it.
That's in dispute. I don't think she's surprised that she was fined. She was only fined the legal fees. Let's be clear.
I understand, but that's because that's what
she easily and just paid it and said what she wanted to say. I don't think she's surprised or upset. I think what she's upset is the fact that she has to get on and defend herself in the first place. I don't think she's upset that she has to pay the attorney fees. I think she knew she was violating it when she did it and did not care. Also, he asked her to go to jail. He didn't even want the money. He wanted her to go to jail. Let me tell you something. Your ex will be your biggest op, okay? And this is proof of that. So let's be clear. He actually wanted her to go to jail. He didn't want money. The court decided we're not going to let her go to jail. We're not going to make an example out of her. We're going to have her pay your attorney fees instead. So in a way, she still won. She didn't have to go to jail, and her and Mufasa paid that little $70K.
Mufasa.
She's getting her back blown out.
I'm so done with you. Al, you never told us your secret last show. All right, Mary said, right. I don't know. I don't kind of see it like that. I see it like she didn't care. She didn't care. But let me go to you, Sean. What are your thoughts on the case?
She owes LeBron. Obviously, she had to pay Iman Shumpert 70 grand. She owed me about at least 28 grand after listening to that nonsense. I don't know why people, seriously, I don't know why people can't get a therapist. A therapist like $200 an hour. All right. I don't need to hear all this stuff. And I know she's thinking like, well, I don't want people to think that I'm a gold digger. Why do you care if you got your own gold? You know what? Call me a gold digger in the comments. As long as you give me gold, I don't give a damn. Like, why does she care what I think about her? All right. She willing to pay 70 grand so that I don't think she's a gold digger. I don't give a damn about her. All right, and she only 2 minutes like that.
And that so rant true. Rant made you change your mind about her, right? Right? It's
the thing is, she's fine. All right, she about 2 inches away from Halle Berry fine. and I hear it.
Oh God, that's so true. Am I on? Because I can't tell if I'm frozen or if they're frozen.
Yeah, you good.
Am I on?
A little blurry, but we can hear you.
All right, guys. I'm sorry for the technical issues. Oh my God, we still have we have so many more cases to go. Should we keep going or should we?
No, we only got 2 more.
We only have 2 more.
All right, algorithms. We're going to keep it going. All right, next up, Shakari Richardson, Olympic gold medalist and track star, was arrested at a Seattle airport on a domestic violence offense. Washington state law is tough on domestic violence. Even minor altercations can result in jail time and a no contact order, which is exactly what happened to her. Statistics show that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. But when it's a public figure, the fallout goes far beyond the courtroom. It can cause sponsorship, endorsements, and career opportunities. Think of Ray Rice, Hope Solo, and even Johnny Depp. This is the collision of sports, image, and criminal law. All right, I'm going to go to you, Jason. I want to talk about the intricate details of this case because I found it to be very interesting. But before we do, Bailiff, take it away. No, you did not. No. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I have to get my sweatshirt bag. Is there anything else that you could let me know? Because now that you have these officers involved, is there anything I need to?
Yeah, why don't you come talk to me over here? Was there someone talking? Come talk to me over here. Okay. Did you talk to
I would never fuck with you again.
So
Hello, hi.
Hey,
So we're in a relationship. I will no longer mess with him or what he had going on. He has some stuff in his bag. I just need to get out of my bag.
Okay.
My iPad, some clothes. I can take it out, put it in my suitcase, brought his bag back. That's pretty much it. But we have a relationship, this, kind of thing going on right now. But yeah, exactly. But I brought his bag back. I took all of my belongings out. I would leave him alone. You don't have to worry about me. I have a flight coming up for myself. Like I said, I'm on the phone right now. I have all of my belongings, but you don't have to worry about me while I'm in the airport with him at all. I just have to get my belongings
Do you
out.
have your ID on you? And boarding pass by chance?
Yeah. Do you need my ID for what? If you don't mind me asking.
Investigating a possible assault.
Assault?
That's
Oh,
what
Christian,
not
I
by him.
assaulted you.
Hey. Oh, listen.
Chris, I assaulted you? Okay.
I'm
I'm so sorry. I'm just making
it's
sure.
It's not him that reported it.
Oh,
One
okay.
of the TSA folks reported
Oh, one of the TSA people, because I can definitely have evidence of him assaulting me if possible.
There's cameras everywhere.
Okay,
So we'll sort it out. So do you
but
have your
like
ID
I
on you?
said, yes, I do. My name is Shakari Richardson. I do have my ID. Yeah, but I will definitely leave him alone. There's nothing that I want to do with him anymore. Like I said, it was a relationship thing. I need to get my stuff out of his
Are you
bag.
guys on the same flight? Or?
We are later on in the day. Because our flight ended up getting delayed. We were supposed to be leaving around this time of day, but the flight got canceled, so the flight doesn't leave until 10 p.m.-ish.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't mind, can I step over here so I can share my ID?
That's fine.
Awesome, thank you. Hi, Sissy. So you hear me, right? So this is the position that Christian Coleman puts me into, okay? Because he's a coward, and I don't want anything to do with him at this point going forward. My name is Sha'Carri Richardson. Have no problem with letting you know who I am. Haven't put my hands on him. We had an argument. I will be honest about that. An argument, and that's pretty much it. The argument, pretty much, he's a liar. He lied about a couple things that's personally, just in a relationship. I pretty much, officers can understand what a relationship is about, but he lied. He's a liar, and that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet you do your thing, but you're asking me for things that is within my possession, and for my right, I don't have to give it to you because it's in my possession. But when it comes to the point that I saw that he chose to make it more about the police and things of that nature, that showed that he made a choice. So I just want to be more professional and just come professionally and let you guys know, like, hey, relationship thing, have no problem,
So
and walking up to you guys.
It's not
I'm
illegal
not
to
hiding.
argue.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Was there any type of physical assault?
No, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. I will be
How
honest.
is she?
No, I haven't hit him with any.
Let's stop that. I just don't understand what world she's even existing in right now. Like, I really don't. I don't understand. The one thing that I do understand about this young lady, she's been consistent. Like, she's always in something. And they've done their best to rehab this young lady, and they've done an amazing job of rehabbing her image and making her America's sweetheart of track and field. I totally get it. But how do you sit there knowing that there are cameras everywhere in the freaking airport and gonna lie and say you never touched him?
Because she
are you that disconnected? You're that disconnected that you or I know where she's from. I know she come from the salt of the earth. She don't play no games. She's don't mess with her. But like, what is she thinking? So I'm gonna throw to you, Sean Carter. Sean Carter, what is she thinking?
I know what she's thinking. She saw his phone. All right. She said he lied to me about some stuff. And I don't know about you, but I've been married to a black woman for 33 years. And she goes to my phone and catch something, I'm getting ass whooping. All right, that's just how that work. All right. Now, fortunately, my wife won't whoop me in the airport. All right, but you're gonna get whooping if you don't lie to your woman and have some find some stuff in your phone. That's just all there is to it, and you just gotta take that whooping and move on. And I'm being a little, just slightly facetious. That's a relationship thing. She said it. She was mad. Now, when she gets older, my wife's grown. You realize you don't lash out and you don't hit people, and particularly in the airport, because that's crazy. All right, they got cameras everywhere. But she was emotional. I get it.
Yeah, I concur with Sean Carter. I think there's a couple of layers to this. First of all, she was emotional at the time and wasn't thinking about any cameras. So when she was asked, well, did you put your hands on him? Or did he put your hands on her? It was easy for her to just say no, right, in the moment. when in fact she knew she was pushing him around, literally pushing him across the floor with that suitcase, right? She's very strong. Also, I noticed even in some comments on social media, there are literally people that don't understand that her kind of pushing him like that with the suitcase, that's assault. Most people think, oh, again, it's just a relationship thing and they're having a disagreement. It's still considered assault. Now, will the prosecutors prosecute it? Will he press charges? He's already said he's not going to press charges. That's a separate matter. But you have to understand, the minute you put your hands on someone, it is assault. And in fact, assault and battery. So I don't think she was really thinking about the airport cameras. I think she was just, to be honest with you, trying to de-escalate the police being involved, the police security. But what you got to remember.
No, ma'am. Ashley Carter, no, ma'am. Ashley Carter, quiet, please. Order my code. No, ma'am. This is not her first domestic violence case.
It's her first time in the airport.
This is not her first.
It's the first time her doing something in the airport. I don't think she thought it was that deep. I don't think she did.
And it's not the first time the court showed her that you cannot put your hands on people. Period.
It's not that I disagree with you. What I am saying is, I think why do you think she kept saying it's a relationship thing? She was downplaying it. That's all I'm saying. It
does not matter. That's called, when you put your hands on someone and you're in a relationship, counselor, it's called domestic violence.
I know that.
Okay. If you have a history of domestic violence, if you have a history of, okay, I'm holding you in contempt. I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court.
You asked us what she was thinking.
If you have a history of putting your hands on your partners, that you've been to jail before and court before, keep your hands to yourself.
I
and
agree
stop
with you.
lying about it.
But she's going to downplay when cops get involved. Even right now, if you got pulled over and you had a disagreement with someone, your immediate reaction, why do you think she was talking so proper? She had a nice tone. She was very calm.
It's called lying.
Trying to de-escalate the situation. I know that. But what I'm not disagreeing with you. But what you asked was, what was she thinking? That was your question to us. So I'm answering it. What she was thinking was, dang, I didn't push this man across the floor. Let me de-escalate. So I'm just telling you what she was thinking. She absolutely.
You better be glad that this.
But that's what she's doing.
You better be glad my internet is messed up. I would wear you out right now. When I tell you wear you out, you may be glad my internet's messed up. I would wear you out right now. If that was a man, you would not have it. You would not have it. You would have told him, you need to sit there and be quiet. You should have never put your hands on a girl, and it would have been a whole freaking issue. And especially if that man was a professional athlete who has previous history of putting his hands on women.
I didn't say she was right. Period. I'm telling you what she was thinking and her actions with the police trying to de-escalate it. I never said she was right with her assault. But if you're wondering why she's acting brand new with the police, it's because she was trying to de-escalate it and not get arrested.
The thing is, have you ever been mad? Right? Have you ever been mad? So word on the street is he was cheating and she caught him, right? I said, have you ever been mad? So when she's like doing whatever she's doing to him, she's young, she's a hothead. I mean, she got in trouble for smoking marijuana before, so she probably gave it up. Now she's all anxious and wired, right? And so she's feeling her full emotion and she's acting it out at the airport. But as Danielle said, she didn't hit him with the phone to the white meat. She didn't punch him, right? She, in her mind, she may not have viewed that as actually hitting him. She was just kind of trying to get him away. And she wanted her stuff. That's what she told them.
But here's the thing. The officers and the people that were there accused her of assault. Assault is the fear, the expectation, or the thought that you are going to be struck or that you are going to be hit. I didn't hear the word battery come out once. So someone was watching this exchange and said, she's going to beat his ass. I better call the cops because he's going to get his ass beat. And that's what happened. So she may have not laid fingers on him. She may have not smacked him around yet. The fear is that that is where it was going to get, and the police got involved to de-escalate.
I agree with you, Jason. I think that her inconsistency is that she was responding to what they said, and in her mind, it didn't match what she did. And so, in some respects, people are criticizing
most abusers' mind, it don't match.
Well, no, I'm just saying, to Jason's point, they used legal terminology in confronting her. They didn't say, did you push him? Right? They said that they accused her of assault. And so in her mind, she may not have understood what that meant.
That was assault. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, you ladies will take up for you ladies.
She's guilty. She's guilty. We're
you ladies. Hello. We talked about this in the chambers. When the judge is talking, please stop talking. Please. I know my internet's messed up, but please. I love how you ladies love taking up for the women, but not making sure there's equal accountability. There's got to be equal accountability. All right, enough of that. Now my internet's out. Damn the hell, y'all better be glad. All right, everybody, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the algorithm really quickly, please. Sorry, everybody. Should Shakari Richardson's arrest be treated as a private matter between partners, or should public figures like her face harsher consequences for domestic? One more time. Should Sha'Carri Richardson's arrest be treated as a private matter between partners, like her face harsher consequences for domestic violence?
He's fading, so I'm going to read it. Should Sha'Carri Richardson's arrest be treated as a private matter between partners, or should public figures like her face harsher consequences for domestic violence? Please leave your answer in the chat. And I also want to reiterate why his internet is fading, that I am not saying that she didn't do anything wrong. She clearly... It's both assault and battery. She's actually guilty of both. But guess what? Her boyfriend isn't pressing charges. They're still together. And yes, kind of like Rihanna and Chris Brown, the prosecutor can continue to press forward with the case without the boyfriend's participation. But it's really hard to do that. The only thing that makes it easy is because it's on camera, right? So they don't really need his participation. But I don't know. She's an Olympic medalist. Just give us some anger management.
She's tiny too, Ashley. That's the other thing.
But she's strong. She's strong.
But
you guys got to remember, this is not her first time at the rodeo. This is not her first time at the rodeo.
I'm sorry. I looked it up, and maybe you can give me I didn't have any sights of her ever being arrested for anything.
Yeah, she got into a fight with her ex-girlfriend. Remember? It was all over everything. She's had a barrage of issues. Huh?
She doesn't have any criminal record, no records of arrest, nothing.
Maybe she wasn't arrested, but Al is right. She did get in a fight with her girlfriend, but she was never arrested for it. But she used to be bisexual and have this girlfriend, and there's some reports of fights. But no, she's never been arrested for it, but there are reports that she fought.
Okay, fair enough.
And marijuana arrests.
Marijuana use.
Correct.
There's countless stories about how she was in the beginning, showing up late, and it was a nightmare. Trust me. All right. Here we go. Woo, Lord Jesus, y'all got me fired up in here tonight.
Want to go to the verdicts?
Tasia Davis said, "Hey Carter, you better chill. He's gonna come in on fire." That is hilarious. Okay. Yes, let's go. Let's close it out to the verdict real quick because I don't know how long I'm gonna have. Do you think we should do the final special interest story or no?
We can open with that one next week. Keep everybody hinged on. Let's open with it on Thursday.
Okay, cool. So Excellent. All right, let's keep going. All right, we're going to go. This is part of the show where we issue our verdict of whether they're guilty or not guilty. First up, we have Gladys Knight. Is her husband guilty or not guilty of elderly abuse? Let's start with you, Attorney Sean Carter.
I'm going to tell you no. And you know who's guilty is these old-ass concert goers. All right, that woman's 81 years old. Why don't you get you Spotify or iTunes, listen to Midnight Train to Georgia? But now you're going to drag that 81-year-old woman up there to make her perform so that you can remember when you used to have hair, right, and your own hips. All right, leave that woman alone. And so the concert goers are guilty, all of them.
All right, Attorney Weiss.
If she is as mentally there as I believe her to be, and she wants to do this, let her do it.
All right, Attorney Carter, Ashley Carter.
I don't think there's elder abuse here. No, I don't think so. I don't think she's guilty of it. I think she is she just loves what she does, and her children that are not getting along with her are looking maybe for any little thing. You know, could she be suffering from some early dementia or something? Maybe, but I don't think there's actual elder abuse going on with her husband.
Attorney Turner.
For all we know, the performances are what has given her life, right? So don't take away what Gladys loves. Give her a handler and let her ride that man as long as she wants to.
Oh my God.
I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Oh Lord.
All right. I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. We're going to find her husband not guilty of elderly abuse. All right. Next up, we have Wendy Williams. Is Wendy Williams' guardian or conservator guilty of not letting her out because she deserves to be? Attorney Carter, Sean Carter, what say you?
I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to the courts. I do know the internet is guilty for running around talking about free Wendy Williams. And I tell you why. Because I just take two words for you. Britney Spears. I don't want to see Whitney in her drawers or dancing in her foyer. I don't want to see
that. Attorney Weiss, I agree with you. It's a mess. Guilty or not guilty?
She is guilty of still needing help.
No. Is the conservator guilty or not guilty for not letting Wendy out?
I say not guilty. From what I've seen, she shouldn't be let out. That doesn't mean I can't change my mind tomorrow, but from what I've seen just now, she needs to stay put and someone needs to look after her.
All right, Attorney Ashley Carter, guilty or not guilty? Conservator guilty or not guilty?
Is the conservator guilty of what?
Guilty or not guilty of not letting Wendy out when she deserves to be out?
I think guilty because she doesn't need to be in this type of conservatorship with this guardian.
Okay, Attorney Chatan Turner, is the conservator guilty or not guilty for not letting Wendy out?
I don't think the guardian's guilty. I think her family's guilty for not stepping up immediately to serve as guardian, and this person's just doing their job.
I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and we're going to find the conservator not guilty. Not guilty is charged. I think the conservator is doing her job. Plus, the conservator now has every state agency, including the attorney general's, breathing down her neck to make sure she crosses every T and dots every I. Right? It's court appointed. Hello, Tiana Taylor. Is she guilty or not guilty of violating the gag order? This should be easy. Attorney Ashley Carter, what say you?
She's guilty, but who cares? She's got the money to pay it.
Attorney Turner, what say you?
She is guilty of violating the order and not guilty in the court of public opinion because she's winning.
With Mufasa.
Yes.
Attorney Weiss, can we please get some rationality back in here? Is she guilty or not guilty?
She is guilty, and she knew what she was doing, and she got the $70,000 worth.
All right, Attorney Carter Turner, Sean Carter. Guilty, not guilty?
She's not only guilty. Here's what she's guilty of. She didn't get her 70 grand worth. If I'm gonna pay 70 grand to spill the tea, I'm gonna spill all of it. She in there spilling, cucumber water from the spa. All right, you tell me about, that he don't measure up in the bedroom. All right, tell me about the time he likes stuff in his butt. But don't, if you spend 70 grand, get your money's worth.
Not up the butt. Okay, Alfredo said, I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. And we're going to find Tiana Taylor guilty. Guilty as charged. Like, come on. Like, you're not above the law. And I'm like Sean Carter. If you're going to spend the $70,000, get it all out in one good swoop. That wine and you were doing wasn't worth the cut. I mean,
she's going to sell one of those cars and take the first 70 grand and do it again. So it's okay.
I'm just saying, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, who cares? I just feel like who cares? And plus, if you're so happy, why are you talking?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you talking if you're so happy? All right, next up, Shakari Richardson. Is she guilty or not guilty of violating that man? Attorney Ashley Carter, what say you?
Oh, yeah, she's guilty, but she is also guilty of not understanding the definition of assault, and probably she doesn't understand the definition of battery. So there we have it.
Okay, Attorney Turner?
She's guilty of not being an attorney and being asked a legal question by people when she was under stress.
Attorney Turner. I'm going to write a letter to the board.
That's such a lawyer answer.
I am going to write a letter to the board about this. This is just ridiculous. Attorney Weiss, what say you?
She is guilty of saying too much, and she is guilty.
Yeah. Attorney Sean Carter?
No, she's definitely guilty of all the stuff. We saw her doing it. And here's what I don't get. All right. She about to get on a plane. I don't know if you've been on a plane recently, but you got to fight on there too. All right. She done wasted all her energy now. All right. If she's flying for Spirit or Frontier or Southwest, she got 3 or 4 fights on the plane. I don't know what she's thinking about. You can't fight in a terminal. You need to wait.
You don't need to be fighting, period. You're going to get arrested by Homeland Security. You cannot fight in the airport, period. You can't even yell in the airport. You can get arrested. So she's definitely guilty of not knowing what not to do in the airport.
Yeah.
And let me say seriously, I was being silly. I want to be serious about this because this is a problem. You know, people think, well, I was mad, and so I get to, lash out. It's not going to do you right. All right. It's not going to do well for you. All right. Just, do what you normally do. Right. Just talk shit about it. But to your girl, that's what grown folks
go
do.
on Instagram.
Post it on Instagram.
Exactly. Right.
Right.
All right. I'm Al, and I'm your judge here at Celebrity Court. And we're going to find Sha'Carri Richardson guilty of not learning from the first lesson in this. Like, come on. You cannot put your hands on people. I mean, this is really easy. And not in public. Everybody knows who you are. And let's not forget, if you didn't find out that day, you're black. He's black. You're part of the United States track team. And you're in a state that domestic violence is the hardest laws or the toughest laws in domestic violence exist in the state of Washington.
If she doesn't know the difference between assault and battery, she doesn't know that those laws are harsh.
She doesn't know. She doesn't.
Get out. Okay. All right, everybody. So now for tonight's special interest case, I guess we're not doing that.
Yeah, we'll do that on Thursday.
All right.
Stop reading your script.
From guardianship battles to gag orders, domestic violence arrests to traffic stops, showdowns, one thing is clear. When you're a celebrity, the law doesn't just punish, it magnifies, and especially in Sha'Carri's case. Tonight, we've seen how courts control speech, it controls autonomy, and it even controls the freedom of movement. But the verdict isn't ours, everybody, algorithm, is yours, because you are the jury of public opinion. So weigh in. Who was right? Who was wrong? And where should the law go from here? Until next time, remember, in this courtroom, celebrity status doesn't grant immunity. It puts you under the brightest spotlight of all. Court is now adjourned.